For the final presentation, I'm going to be discussing three emerging photovoltaic technologies that are being worked on currently or will be worked on in the future. These three are perovskite solar cells, plasmonic solar cells, and dye-sensitized solar cells. Perovskites are a material that absorbs the sunlight, such as methyl ammonium lead trihalide. Perovskite cells work by taking the absorbed energy and transferring it to the thin layer of titanium dioxide. This energy transfer is through photogenerated electrons from the perovskite. Perovskite cells are cheaper than silicon cells, which is a bonus, and the efficiency is almost the same to silicon cells. Perovskite can be used in layers with silicon cells to produce a super solar cell. Perovskite solar cells can be transparent or colored. This allows them to be placed in windows and applications similar to that. In this image you can see the glass, the FTO, which is the scaffolding for the perovskite, the compact TiO2, titanium dioxide, perovskite itself, HTM, and AU, which is gold. So it requires a certain amount of layers in order to absorb the light's energy and transform it into electricity. Plasmonic solar cells are, unlike perovskites, use a different method of capturing light. Plasmonic solar cells use a thin film of metal such as gold with tiny holes punctured through it. When sunlight shines through the tiny holes, it excites plasmons, which then resonate and transfer positive electrons into the circuit. Plasmonic solar cells have the ability to produce electricity from sunlight using a minimal amount of layers. Having a thinner structure makes these cells extremely flexible. Being flexible gives the solar cells the potential to be used in situations that silicon panels, which are hard, cannot be used. This is a graphic image of a plasmonic solar cell, and it's showing the thin film of gold with the tiny holes in it, and the different rays of light, the different light frequencies going through the glass and into these tiny little holes. While it's not diagrammatic, it still shows how thin it can be, even at a microscopic scale. The last one, dye-sensitized solar cells, take the developments from older technologies, and that would similar to the plasmonic cells, and combine them. Dye-sensitized solar cells work by having a dye absorb the sunlight's energy, turning it into electricity, and then having titanium dioxide transfer that electricity out of the cell. A cheaper version of the cell replaces titanium dioxide with carbon nanotubes that conduct electricity from the dye. The carbon nanotubes gives the solar cell flexibility, which, like I mentioned before, is a bonus. The carbon nanotubes are also so small that they appear transparent. All these improvements are based on making a solar cell that does not rely on silicon, is flexible, and can be transparent. In this diagram, you can see, once again, the different layers built up of the dye-sensitized solar cell. In this one, it's again is relatively thin with glass, the metal in the bottom to pull the electricity out. However, with this one, what's interesting is you have these nanotubes, and they are surrounded by the dye, which absorbs the sun's energy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful.